Fungi have their own unique methods of reproduction. As one typical example, let us examine the life cycle of a mushroom. As we have already learned, mushrooms are actually just the spore-producing fruiting bodies that arise from a large underground mycelium of hyphae threads, and their gills are where the spore-making basidia are located. Inside of each basidium are two haploid nuclei that come from different parent organisms. Fertilization occurs when these nuclei fuse together to form a single diploid nucleus. But this diploid nucleus doesn't last long because it undergoes meiosis to form four haploid nuclei. Then four tiny sacs develop on the surface of each basidium, and the nuclei migrate into the sacs and develop into basidiospores. A typical mushroom produces about 10 billion of these reproductive spores. As the mature spores fall toward the earth, they are sometimes carried great distances by the wind. In fact, most of the time, the air around us is filled with all sorts of fungal spores. After a spore lands, if the conditions are favorable, it begins to germinate like the seed of a plant, and hyphae begin to sprout from it. As the spores germinate, the parent mushrooms melt away as the nutrients in the soil are used up. Eventually, beneath the ground, the hyphae of the newly germinated fungus will mate with hyphae of another fungus. As a result, cells with two nuclei from two parent fungi are formed. Then these hyphae rapidly grow into a mycelium, which will thrust new mushrooms up through the soil, thereby completing this fungus's reproductive cycle.